Fekkin and Aries took their fourth stage victory out of 5, and both they and teammates Kuhn and Hodgson had closed the gap to rally leaders Gemmell and Marsh. The Toyota Cruise lead was now down to 23 seconds, with the top 3 covered by just more than 70 seconds. In N4, Wilkin and Godrich were ahead of Ryan and Van Heerden, with Versace and Lagrange clear of Michael Houghton and Henny Boertes. In A7, Joubert and Ferrier had retaken the lead over De Wit and Redlinghuis, while Berger Jr. led A6 and Klingberg had gone to the top in A5.
The final dirt stage of day 1 was the longest of the Toyota Dealer Rally Gauteng at almost 35 kilometres, and everybody knew that this one could turn the rally on its head. Rally spectators don't mind these kind of conditions as long as they can find a way of keeping warm and the action is hot. Even a disappointed Serge Damser was watching proceedings as Marc Cronier and Chris Birkin came past. They would drop a considerable amount of time in this stage. Johnny Gemmell and Peter Marsh would also lose time in this stage, and they would lose their lead.
We were leading, and then this last 32k we had a little bit of a problem there, lost some time to Enzo. He's in front, I think 6 or 7, but still a long day tomorrow.
Sensing an opportunity on this long stage, Jürgen Fekkin and Piri Aries put their heads down and took almost 40 seconds off the crew ahead of them to move into 3rd overall.
Bump on left, then 100. 100 bump on left, then 100, turn tight left 9, no cut, turn tight left 9, no cut. Yes, this is flutter. Flip now. Rough left 4.
Judd and Habig pushing hard with their title hopes still high. Enzo Kuhn and Guy Hodgson went even faster, covering the stage 7 seconds quicker than anybody else. This gave them the overall lead by 6 seconds over the Toyota crew.
We managed to take the lead now from Johnny Gemmell, and it's a bit risky, you know, not really during the stage, but only on the braking after long straights. You just cannot judge the braking distances. So we actually slid through a fence on the one corner.
Another midfield running crew in N4, Paul Pfeiffer and Cindy Harding. Just ahead of them in the standings, the rally chicks Lola and Megan Verlaag. Seeing their remote title chances slipping even further away, Nicholas Ryan and Schalk van Heerden. N4 leaders Charles Wilkin and Greg Godrich. And still driving tactically, points leader Visser Du Plessis and Dave Lethbridge. Skalkberger Sr. and Richard Leek now 4th in N4. So Kuhn and Hodgson took their first stage victory of the event, with Habig and Fekkin setting identical times, while the old-timers actually set the fastest N4 time.
The final stage of day 1 was a spectator stage on Tar in the parking area at the K90 shopping centre in Boksburg. Rally crews know that this is mainly done to bring the spectacle closer to the people, and that although they can't really win much on a stage like this, they can lose everything. So let's get into the swing of things. Jan Habig and Johnny Gemmell set identical times on this stage, to share the win. But in the overall scheme of things, it meant that Kuhn went to bed with a slender 2-second lead and a full day's rallying to go. After the break, conditions get even worse. Our cameramen brave the elements and dodge assassination attempts from some of the...
Welcome back. Day 2 of the Toyota Dealer Rally Gauteng, and because of the conditions, the organisers had to shorten the route from 14 to 12 stages. Stage 8 was a repeat of Stage 1. We joined the first crew on the road, Mark Cronier and Chris Birkin, in the 5th place to S2000 Castrol Toyota Runnix.
2, 1, go. 250, go wide right, hairpin left, bump, narrow gate. Watch the rear, bump, narrow gate. Bump, narrow gate, hairpin left. Left, right 2. Right 2. C100, left 2, right 2, tightens 4. Right 2, tightens 6. Right 2, tightens 6. C250, right 4 at the mound there. Right 4. Right 4, very rough, left 8. Right 4, very rough, left 8. It's beached.
The car was beached, and it would take them half an hour to get it going again. After continuous rain overnight, the surface had become treacherous, and one thing was for sure, many more crews would be caught out. Here, John and Douglas Williams in their S2000 Guma Volkswagen Polo, 10th overnight. Jan Habik and Douglas Judd, 4th overnight in the Works BP Volkswagen Polo. Johnny Gebel and Peter Marsh in the Works Castrol Toyota Runnix gave up 20 seconds in this stage, while Enzo Kuhn and Guy Hodgson in the Works BP Volkswagen Polo stretched their overall lead by 15 seconds. That was the first of the close shaves for our cameramen. Jürgen Fecken and Pierre Aries, 3rd overnight, took yet another stage victory and closed to within 4 seconds of the Toyota crew. Paul Pfeiffer and Cindy Harding had been struggling in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 6 the previous day, but were going better at this point. Lola and Megan Verlark in their Team Total Subaru Impreza WRX, 5th and N4 overnight. The Bosel Subaru Impreza of Nick Ryan and Skalk van Heerden, 2nd in N4 overnight.
3rd in N4 and still on course for the title, Fisser Du Plessis and Dave Lefkowitz in the Pertec Creepy Crawly Subaru Impreza WRX. Leading the production car category, Charles Wilkin and Greg Godrich in the Sasol Konica Minolta Subaru Impreza WRX. 2nd in Class A7 overnight, Tian Schubert and Llewellyn Fourie in the Slalom Volkswagen Polo. Tony Ball and Alan Bissett in their Bulber Park Volkswagen Golf, 3rd in Class A7 overnight. Class A7 leaders by almost 2 minutes overnight, Chris de Wit and Dean Redlinghuis in their Team Total Toyota Runnix. 2nd in Class N3 overnight, the Team Total Toyota Runnix of Rodney Versace and Arno Legrandzi. Leading Class N3 by 26 seconds overnight, Michael Houghton and Henny Boertes in their Team Total Toyota Runnix. Eugene Lawrence and Eugene LaRue had dropped well off the pace in Class A6 in their Team Total Toyota Conquest. They were 4th in class overnight. Sally de Toy and Gert Janssen van Rensburg in their Team Total Toyota Runnix, trailing the Class A6 leaders by just 10 seconds, but simply not getting any traction in these conditions. Shane Williams and Jonathan Bright in their Class A5 Guma City Golf, 29th out of the 36 remaining cars and 4th in class. Class A5 leaders Claudio Piazza Musso and Greg Gericke in the Sasol Toyota Yaris. Their overnight lead, however, was a mere 16 seconds.
Their 5th stage win took Fecken and Aries to the verge of 3rd overall, while Du Plessis and Lefkowitz began to make their presence felt in N4. In S2000 and overall, Kuhn held a 17-second lead over Gemmel, with Fecken just 4 seconds back, and Habig another 2 minutes down. Cronier and Birkin rejoined, but way behind. In N4, Wilkin and Godrich held a comfortable lead over Ryan and Van Heerden, while Houghton and Boertes stretched their lead in N3. De Wit and Redling-Hayes were well ahead in A7. Du Toit had taken over the A6 lead after the demise of Skalkberger Jr., while Piazza Musso was ahead in A5.
Stage 9 was the first running of the Super Special on the Karula Rally-style grounds. 2 cars at a time in a direct shootout on a route incorporating a short and a long loop and a crossover. The atrocious weather conditions didn't dampen the spirit among the spectators as the first 2 cars into the stage, Marc Cronje and Chris Birkin versus Enzo Kuhn and Guy Hodgson, set off. The Polo beat the Runx by a comfortable 7 seconds. Next up, teammates Jürgen Fecken and Piri Aris against Jan Habich and Douglas Judd. Fecken won this stage as well, going 5 seconds faster than his teammate. John and Douglas Williams took on Johnny Gemmell and Peter Marsh. Not surprisingly, the Works crew went faster, but by only 3 seconds. In the first of the N4 shootouts, Nicholas Ryan and Scott Van Heerden against Charles Wilkin and Greg Godrich. Wilkin beat Ryan by 6 seconds. Fecken and Aris drew level second with Gemmell and Marsh after winning this stage, their 6th out of 9, while Cronje and Birkin began their long climb back up the order. After the break, the final sting in the tail, and champions are
The
crowned.
Toyota Dealer Rally Gauteng was a repeat of the morning's first stage, and by now the surface had been thoroughly messed up. It was going to be a tough challenge for man and machine. Fecken and Aris now smelling the possibility of challenging for victory, which is what they would need, plus some bad luck from their teammates to take the overall title. Kuhn and Hodgson, who also needed to win, were struggling in the conditions and dropped 5 seconds to Fecken and Aris in this stage. Gemmell and Marsh would also lose almost half a minute in this stage and drop to 3rd. Habich and Judd knew they could hold on to their 4th place and they would be crowned 2007 champions, but they still had a long way to go. Cronje and Birkin would not play any role in the outcome of the championship fight, having dropped to just inside the top 20 after their mishap in the morning's first stage. Still, they were in a fighting mood. Williams pairing still going strong and inside the top 10 and 5th in S2000.
Yeah, these conditions are challenging. They require a lot of concentration, and we hit a branch with damage to our front windscreen, so half of the windscreen I can't see through. Makes it very difficult to drive, especially when you get the mud on the windscreen. The wipers don't work properly either. So, you know, we're close to the end of the event. Championships pretty much still open with an outside chance. We're leading only by 15 seconds at the moment, so 30-kilometer stage waiting for us, and it's really slippery out there. You know, it's difficult to judge how fast you want to drive because coming down a straight takes you about 2 kilometers from 200 to stop the car, and it's really just sometimes the car cuts out, so you're back on the starter button trying to start the car and looking for gears. It's a bit chaos inside there.
Yeah, we had a bit of a slow start and you know, a couple of difficulties with punches and so on. But I think we were pushing too hard probably in the beginning. You know, after Serge went out, then obviously things calmed down a bit, and we're holding our position. All we need to do is finish better than 6th, so that's what we're currently doing.
Apart from their earlier fuel pump problems, Wilkin and Godrich had had a good run and were looking at a comfortable Class N4 victory and equaling their best overall finish of the year in 5th. Ryan and Van